All right, following the breaking news on CBS Sports HQ and college basketball world, look at this. Chris Beard trading in the Red Raider jersey to go get some of that burnt orange, heading to Texas to be the next head coach. Spent 5 years there, the Red Raiders, making them a contender, not too far off of getting a championship in 2019. Part of that championship run just falling to UVA, but now taking his talents from Texas Tech back to his alma mater to join the Longhorns. And when you stack up the numbers, you see it there, 5 at Texas Tech, 1 at Little Rock, 6 years. His total as a HC. The record is there, 142 as well. And I mentioned that runner-up against UVA. And then not to mention, they could have had 4 NCAA tournament appearances, but of course we did not have one last year. He has 3 on the resume and possibly getting some more now at Texas. Let's bring in our Matt Norlander, part of our Final Four coverage here in Indianapolis. And Matt, this news coming down not too long ago, your reaction to Beard heading to Texas?
Yeah, sources telling me Beard to Texas is done. Also, that Texas had long since targeted Chris Beard to be a potential replacement for Shaka Smart if and when Smart was no longer the head coach at Texas. Chris Del Conte, the athletic director, targeted Beard, and this got done. Why today? Because Chris Beard's buyout dropped from $5 million to $4 million here on April 1st. So save a little bit of money, wait a little bit longer here, and they get it done. Beard went to Texas, has done a magnificent job, starting at Little Rock, where he took that program to the NCAA tournament with a quickness, and then Texas Tech obviously getting that program to the Final Four in its first national championship game. He stays in state, he stays in conference. This is a huge opening. It's not the biggest news in college basketball coaching today, but it is very, very close, and it is no surprise that you have Beard now going to Texas and in turn opening the Texas Tech job.
Yeah, 4th best win percentage. We're talking about the NCAA tournament, just behind a few guys we all know, and Coach K, Calipari, and Pitino. We're talking about tournament time, so a big get for them. What type of coach are they getting now? As you mentioned, still in conference there, so they have some familiarity with them a little bit.
I mean, they're getting a coach who is highly regarded in the industry. Beard is already considered, top 20, top 25 level in the entire sport from a head coaching and X and O's perspective. He's a fairly laid-back guy, but also intense. I know those things are polar opposites, but he really has an amazing ability to compartmentalize the competitive aspect of the game and yet not let the game completely dictate his life. He is built for this Texas job. There's no doubt about it. This is the kind of job that if he has success, this could be Chris Beard at Texas for the next 25 years if it goes well. No one can say with 100% certainty that it will go well, but Texas couldn't have done much better. Again, they had their number 1 candidate, and if you're Texas, which is regarded as a top 10 job in college basketball, you almost never miss out on your number 1 candidate. Beard was that guy. They had been working the deal, making sure the money could be right in recent weeks, and now with the buyout dropping, my sources tell me that he is off to Texas. Expect an announcement soon, and with that we'll get more details on years and money. But this, frankly, Beard going to Texas also recalibrates the sport in terms of that program now will have expectations to be at a top 10 level fairly soon with him running the program, given what he was able to do at Texas Tech, which has nowhere near the amount of prestige from a job standpoint in the industry.
All right, you mentioned it there, of course. Now with him going to Texas, that leaves a void for the Red Raiders. If you're looking at that opening there, still have a talented roster from what we saw this past season. What does this mean for them moving forward?
Let me give you some names here that I think Texas Tech will and should look at. North Texas, Grant McCaslin, former assistant at Baylor. Paul Mills, we saw what he just did with Oral Roberts, also a former assistant at Baylor. Joe Golding, Abilene Christian coach, also in the state, just took them to the second round of the NCAA tournament. Kyle Keller also knows the state, former Texas A&M assistant. He's coaching at Stephen F. Austin. There's no shortage of really good candidates to look at the mid-major level. You also might get an opportunity for a sitting head coach in a power conference, but in that region specifically, they have plenty of options to consider there left and right. So Texas Tech is a good job. Beard upped its profile nationally. I'll be interested to see how much that roster has turnover going forward. This is a huge year for the transfer portal, because remember, every single player in college basketball and all NCAA sports gets a bonus year next season. So that has led to, as we speak today, more than 1,100 names and counting in the transfer portal. Whoever gets that job is going to have to try and retain as much as they can on that roster, but I actually expect Texas Tech to be in a little bit of a tough spot next year, no matter who winds up getting the gig.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.